This game's always awesome. Like it's a great game for the state. I think if you want to keep growing the game of basketball in the state of Colorado and Colorado State need to play, and it creates an atmosphere. And kids come to these games and they see a Kerry Booth, Josiah Sanders for them. They see kids from Colorado out there playing in front of sold out arenas, and I think that's what makes it special, right? And we have two good teams like this. It creates an atmosphere like that, and you can't really get a whole lot better than from an offensive standpoint, 91-86 game. But that's what makes this rivalry fun, and it's everything that you want about it. And huge credit to Colorado. That's a really good basketball team that we just beat. And like I said earlier, Tad Boyle is one of the best coaches in the country. He's probably the best coach in the history of Colorado. And whenever it's done for him, though, it's been fun watching his teams over the years and being a fan of them. They're a good program, and he's done a hell of a job at Colorado too.
On a night when they do shoot 62%, how proud are you of the way that you guys regrouped and played those last 4 minutes defensively?
Yeah, I didn't know they went on a 21-4 run. It felt like it, but the response was awesome. Like the fans felt it, I felt it. Like the pressure added up when it was a 13-point game and they cut it down to 2. And I had wasted the timeout earlier. I regret that, but their response on their own and how they handled it and got back to just doing what they had been doing, moving the ball, spacing for each other. And then at the end of the day, like, players make plays. We were running a middle ball screen the last 5 minutes of the game. It wasn't anything more than that.
But defensively, players talked about going to the zone.
Yeah.
They felt that slowed CU's thinking down in their activity. Is that the thought process from you going to that switch?
Yeah, I just knew man wasn't working. But no, and they did a great job executing it. First half, they did a great job against us, CU did, and getting those lobs and getting those easy threats. I mean, when Bang got Dax down there, you don't have to throw a great pass. You can throw it anywhere. He's going to dunk it. So we adjusted to that, had those top guys playing it because they had – 2 guys on the baseline, 3 high more, so we didn't need to play the wings. The wings could stay up longer, and we could have those 2 guards sitting back more playing the high post more. And I thought that was a big adjustment in the second half for the 2 defense because in the first half we tried it and it was awful. So then we adjusted to it in the second half, and Kyle made some big plays within the zone. That tap up on the other one, and then the wall up on the other side. It was that tiny little adjustment to the 2 defense that I thought helped get those couple stops in the last 4 minutes.
In your first year as Colorado State head coach, what did it mean to have that environment behind you for this rivalry?
Yeah, it's awesome. Like Moby Madness is the best, and I told those guys they had felt good crowds up to that point. Like we had some really good crowds up to this game, but that was a full experience of Moby Madness, and it. There's nothing better than Moby Madness. I know Tim Miles used to talk about it, Nico Medved used to talk about it, and I didn't know what that meant until I got here. And the first time that I got to experience it, it feels different. And then that's what Coach Foster and some of those new guys said it. Dave said he felt it from the other side of it and didn't like it. But so it was great for those guys to feel, and it was great for our guys. Like for them to feel that atmosphere and feeling that environment, that's in the Mountain West, that's what it's going to be every night. So it's great for them to feel that.
I know it's early, but did it have a building for the tournament type intensity and urgency out there?
No, not for the tournament. For Dartmouth Tuesday, and I think that's where we're trying to stick with right now. Like, yeah, that's the ultimate goal, but we had those things all set out. Those are out there, but we don't talk about them anymore. We know that's the ultimate goal, but now it's just about the process of how we get there. And I'll celebrate for a little bit tonight, and then I'll probably watch Dartmouth tonight.
How much do you guys practice that zone? What does it say about the guys that kind of on the fly are able to, execute an adjustment like that?
Yeah, super high IQ, and like there's one play that stood out to me. Johnson made a huge no. See, I only go by their names or by their numbers. They don't have names. 2. So Johnson. So Isaiah Johnson makes that steal on the backside on Jason. We're trying to run a play. It was a new play that we hadn't done because we had a different lineup, and then they made a great play and tied the game up. And then Jevin actually was the one that made the decision for Jace to run the point, and Jevin was the one to get the catch that led to the 3 for Josh. And so, like, at Josh, Jevin is so heady, and his IQ is off the charts. So for him to just be like, no, like, all right, I'm not dealing with that again. Like, Jace, you bring it up, I'll run it. And he looked at me and went like this, I got it. And, shoot, I always remember that from Nico. At the end of the day, just trust your players. and they made the right play. It was the best decision he made, and Jevin's our best passer, so why not have him throw the ball to Josh for that shot?
Josh out there and said you didn't realize he'd made 8 threes in the game. Did you realize he'd made 8 threes in the game while it was happening?
No, I didn't even. Last time he made 8 threes, I didn't really realize it. Every time he shoots it, I just think it's going in. So I'm surprised he missed 2. But when you go 8, what is he, 16 for his last 18? That's decent. But like that's what we've told these guys, and I think Nygon kind of asked me that question out there, like, do you want to shoot that many threes? And yeah, if we go 18 for 35, I do. And most nights, I feel like we're right there to be able to do that. We're hard to guard when you got 5 to 6 guys out there that all shoot over 40% and are also willing to share the ball with one another.
What does it say about Josh's IQ? It feels like he does this at least once a game, but his biggest bucket late was a 2. You know, he's hitting threes all night, drives and gets a really good look. Just what can you say about his savviness, I guess? Yeah,
he was hurting after Denver and Virginia Tech, right? Those 2 shots that he missed, like, he was hurting. So for him to be able to bounce back like that, and not only just like, because he was thinking 3, I'm sure, and for him to just make the right read, and that's what we always talk about. It's not whatever the game requires of you, that's the only decision to make. And in that moment, like, they were sitting on his 3, and he made a nice hesitation move, and he's been working on it. I've seen him do it, and for him to make that read and make that play, like, that's what it's about. It's fun. It's fun to see guys evolving their game in the middle of the season too.
Could you, if you went back 18 months, could you have envisioned that Kyle Jorgensen would be the player he is right now in year 2?
I always thought Kyle could be a good player. Like, I don't know. We always talk about this, like, don't set ceilings on yourself. So, yeah, I did. And I think that's what's the best thing about this group is we don't set ceilings on anybody, because I've seen it with Neek. People told me what Neek was going to be. People told me what Isaiah was going to be, David Roddy, all these guys. So I'm not putting a ceiling on Kyle, and I think this is just the stepping stone for him.
In a game where Kerry Booth may have not filled the stat sheet as much, what did you see from him kind of late down the stretch, and what he did to contribute to help you guys pull out the W?
Yeah, I mean, that and one was massive. That was his only made field goal of the game. But for him to make that play, and the one thing with Kerry is he's always a presence, just with his size and his movement and his spacing and reading that. And then he shoots the ball at such a high level, he pulls gravity out towards him. So, like, you don't always notice those things, but the floor is way more spaced when you got – and that's why that middle ball screen works with Jevin and Kyle there, because you got Brandon Rexsteiner, who shoots 47%. Jace Butler's shooting like 52%. Kerry Booth shooting 50%. Well, it's tough to make a decision on what you're going to do, and Jevin usually makes the right play every time he's in that situation.
Ollie, speaking of that, I haven't seen you as fired up as you were after Jevin drives and kicks it out to Kyle for 3 to put you up 4. I think it was 68-64. I mean, just how important was Jevin's distribution in that second half? Because it just felt like he could get into the lane whenever he needed to and then either make a layup or kick it out to whoever was open.
Yeah, and what we thought when Jevin first came here was he was a secondary playmaker. And essentially kind of like Neek was last year, where Neek wasn't the point guard, but if you looked at how we played Neek, essentially was the point guard. And that's kind of Jevin in some ways. Like, we got JoJo and Brandon, obviously, too. Like, they've done a great job, but Jevin's really the secondary playmaker, and right now he's making all those reads. And it also allows us to get Brandon off the ball to get him more shots. When you got a shooter like that, you got to be able to play him off the ball too. So Jevin's allowed for those other guys to get the shots that they can get. Awesome. Thanks, guys.